We have a lot to cover as we are ranking every NFL team for the 2021-2022 season. But before we get into it, be sure that you are subscribed, you hit that like button, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming content. And now, let's break it down. Number 32, Houston Texans. At one point in time, this team had all pros like Deshaun Watson, J.J. Watt, DeAndre Hopkins, and Jadeveon Clowney. Analysts all over the country thought the AFC was going to be a battle between Houston and Kansas City for years. They may have a Pro Bowl quarterback in Deshaun Watson, but he will not be starting this season due to controversies and court cases. He also made it clear he wants out of Houston. Number 31, Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars are going into this season battling for our last spot on the list. The team has been lagging behind in recent years, and their roster hasn't exactly proven to be a winning team in previous seasons. Number 30, Cincinnati Bengals. Jamar Chase has struggled in preseason, and the Bengals already have a decent wide receiver core in Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins. It doesn't seem like it was the right call, we think, and it will hurt them in the long run. Joe Burrow is also the real deal who could eventually win an MVP and maybe a Super Bowl, but it will be interesting to see how he plays after his injury. Number 29, Philadelphia Eagles. Just like the Texans and the Jaguars, we can't comprehend what happened after we won the Super Bowl in 2018. Most fans are expecting a rough season in Philadelphia again, but I am hopeful that Hurts and Smith play well and the Eagles front office doesn't mess it up by drafting another quarterback in the draft next year to compete with Hurts. Unless Hurts is just terrible this season. Number 28, New York Jets. Robert Saleh is a player's coach, and even Richard Sherman has made public statements about the kind of coach that he is. The Jets' culture seems to be a significant underlying reason why they've struggled since Mark Sanchez's days. With Saleh coming in, most are expecting a completely different culture in New York City. Number 27, Denver Broncos. Fans were excited during the 2021 NFL Draft as they hoped the Broncos would take Justin Fields. But then they suddenly traded for Teddy Bridgewater and are planning to start him this year over Drew Lock. Teddy may be a better option than Drew, but it's unlikely that Teddy Bridgewater is the long-term answer. Number 26, Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons haven't yet recovered as an organization from the greatest Super Bowl meltdown and possibly the greatest meltdown of any sport, and will not be very good. Julio Jones, their best player, requested a trade and is now a Tennessee Titan. Number 25, Detroit Lions. As usual, many people have the Lions, arguably the worst franchise in sports by the way, as one of their worst projected teams for the 2021-2022 season. Jared Goff is a former Pro Bowler who has been to a Super Bowl. Now he may not be as good as Matthew Stafford, but he is younger. The Lions probably won't be good for another 2 to 3 years as they will need to build through the draft. Number 24, New York Giants. The Giants will likely have another rough year, but it is not because of their head coach, Joe Judge. Initially, Judge was a terrible coaching selection, but he definitely proved everyone wrong. Number 23, Chicago Bears. Andy Dalton is the starting quarterback for the Chicago Bears right now, but that is expected to change eventually. The Bears have a really solid team. They just need another receiver or two and a franchise quarterback. It looks like they found a franchise quarterback in Justin Fields, but it will be interesting to see when he finally gets to start. Number 22, Carolina Panthers. Lots of fans and analysts are excited for the Panthers this year. Sam Darnold is finally getting an opportunity away from the Jets, and he has a Pro Bowl running back in Christian McCaffrey to help. Matt Rule is the head coach, and he is supposed to be an offensive guru, so it will be interesting to see how Darnold plays. Number 21, Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders could have been so good right now if they didn't let John Gruden and Mike Mayock try and create their own team. This is what the GM and coach are paid to do, but this doesn't seem to be working. Time after time, new hires come in and want to trade everyone, but then they trade players like Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper, which really makes no sense. Number 20, Minnesota Vikings. It seems that Justin Fields was destined to play in the cold. He went to the Ohio State University, and once he decided to enter the draft, there were discussions about whether the Chicago Bears or the Minnesota Vikings would trade up to draft him. Number 19, New England Patriots. The Patriots really stole all the headlines recently when they traded for Mac Jones. In reality, Jones benefited from the weapons that Alabama has. Going into Foxborough is going to be hard for any new quarterback after Brady's legacy, and it's likely the Patriots are going to be average this year and for the Bills and the Dolphins to run the AFC East in that order. Number 18, Dallas Cowboys. Most fans are counting on Dak Prescott bouncing back this season after his injury last year. Ezekiel Elliott is also apparently in the best shape of his life, which is crazy since he has led the league in rushing in almost half of the seasons he has been in the league. Number 17, Indianapolis Colts. Carson Wentz is the real mystery for the Colts this season. It feels like half of the country loves Wentz while the other half thinks that he's overrated. During the MVP caliber season a few years ago, Wentz was healthy and with some other offensive weapons was special. He hasn't been the same since, but again, injuries and supporting cast may have had something to do with that. Number 16, the Washington Football Team. The Washington Football Team's roster is looking solid this year as Chase Young and Jonathan Allen are in charge of the defense. Terry McLaurin is one of the best receivers in the game, and he is constantly having to catch the ball from different quarterbacks. Number 15, Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers have two faces of the franchise. Joey Bosa is one of the best defensive players in the game. Derwin James is another strong defensive player that helps out as well. On offense, Justin Herbert could become an MVP. Number 14, Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins were 10-6 last season, and it didn't seem like they were trying to win. The Dolphins also had 2 first-round picks last year due to a trade with the Texans. Now, I believe in Tua, even if he struggled a little last season. The Dolphins team is going to be crazy good eventually, and I credit the general manager Chris Grier and the head coach Brian Flores. Number 13, Arizona Cardinals. This will be the best division in the NFL this season. The Cardinals will probably be the worst team in the division, but could be first in a couple of others, including the NFC East. They have made a splash and signed some aging superstars in AJ Green and JJ Watt. Kyler Murray is a great young quarterback, and he has DeAndre Hopkins and, as previously mentioned, AJ Green to throw the ball to. Number 12, New Orleans Saints. With Drew Brees, the Saints are one of the best teams in the league. Winston will throw the ball a lot and throw a lot of touchdowns, but he also might throw some interceptions. He has one of the best receivers in the league in Michael Thomas, but there is definitely some drama on that front. We'll really have to wait and see with this team. Number 11, Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens just lost their starting running back J.K. Dobbins to an injury, while the Steelers just drafted a running back in the first round in Najee Harris. It's unlikely the Ravens can win it all without a strong running game to get the heat off of Jackson. Number 10, Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers have been the best team in the AFC North for years, but it is now Cleveland's time to shine. We fully believe that Cleveland will win the AFC North, and the Steelers are fighting for the wild card. Big Ben looks healthy, and the defense is solid, led by Minkah Fitzpatrick, but still needs a running game. Number 9, San Francisco 49ers. As of right now, the starting quarterback for the 49ers is Jimmy G, but that might change. If they think Trey Lance is ready to start now, they might trade Jimmy G and see what they can get for him. They had a terrible season last year after making the Super Bowl, but that was due to injuries. Number 8, Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans were 11-5 last season, and then they added Julio Jones. A trio of Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, and Julio Jones are going to run havoc over the terrible AFC South for years to come. If their defense improves, they will be legit Super Bowl contenders. Number 7, Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks are good every season. Russell Wilson and DJ Metcalf are some of the best quarterback wide receiver duos in the league. Pete Carroll is still one of the better coaches. The Seahawks need drastic changes on their offensive line though, and there was some drama this season regarding that topic. Number 6, Green Bay Packers. We went from one quarterback controversy to another. Aaron Rodgers really wanted out of Green Bay this season. The Packers chose not to trade him, and he surprisingly showed up to training camp. The Packers refused to draft an offensive player in the first round of the draft, except when they are drafting Aaron Rodgers' replacement. Number 5, Cleveland Browns. Believe Land is back. The Land is a good professional sports team yet again. The Browns have been terrible for decades, but they are finally back. Baker Mayfield is a great young quarterback. Nick Chubb might be the second best running back in the league behind Derrick Henry, and this team might make the Super Bowl this year. Number 4, Los Angeles Rams. Matthew Stafford is going to change a lot around Los Angeles. Jared Goff was good, but he doesn't have Matthew Stafford's experience, ability, or pedigree at this moment in time. Stafford is not that mobile, but he can throw the ball. The defense is obviously set with Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. It all hinges on beating the Packers and Buccaneers, who will be leading the race. Number 3, Buffalo Bills. Lots of people are predicting Josh Allen to be the MVP this year. He is a generational type talent and has one of the best receivers in the league in Stephon Diggs and a solid defense. Their goal should be to win the Super Bowl this season, and everything else is a failure. Number 2, Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes might be the best quarterback in the NFL, but that doesn't mean he has the best team. There is a chance that we see the Super Bowl being a Buccaneers-Chiefs Part 2 this year, as Mahomes needs offensive line help and defensive help if they want to stop Brady and the Bucs. They also can't sleep on the Browns and Bills. Number 1, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The reigning, defending Super Bowl champions have to be number 1. Tom Brady has proven that he is the best quarterback to ever play the game after winning his 7th championship, and that was with a season-long injury. The Bucs defense should get a lot of credit, but Brady led this team offensively and changed the culture. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like it, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos. This has been our breakdown of every NFL team for the 2021 and 2022 season.